I don't know if you've noticed, but the word unique gets thrown around all the time at the moment, from unique baby names to unique ways to style your home. You see it in blog articles and on YouTube videos, and it's an exciting and enticing way to hook you into something. But the reality is that 50% of those unique baby names are in the top 10, and all those unique style ideas you've seen in your friends' houses. Unique is a really tempting word, but it's totally overblown. So when I'm here telling you that I think that the way that I designed my crochet zebra is unique, I'm not saying it lightly. I genuinely think that it's different. It was a bit of a gamble for me because it was a time-consuming thing to do, but I couldn't go and look up whether it was unique until I was done. Because once you've looked at somebody else's alternate design for something, I don't know about you, but once I've seen something that someone else has made, I find it really hard to not let some part of it influence what I'm doing next. And I didn't want that. Today I'm going to talk to you about the zebra I made, the design decisions I made, why it was so important for me for this to actually be unique, to be different, and a little bit about the progression of the design, because I think it's quite interesting if you like that sort of thing. So join me and let's have a look. So this is my crochet zebra. I finished it yesterday and I'm really pleased with the result, but it was a bit of a slog. Now, those of you who are familiar with crochet, you've been doing it for a while, you can probably see straight off the bat what I've done that's different to what you normally get in patterns. But if not, I'm just going to walk you through quickly. So zebras are stripy, right? We all are comfortable with this as a fact. They are stripy animals. But one of the things that I've always felt with zebra toys of any kind, not just crocheted ones, is that the stripes don't really reflect what a zebra actually looks like. And although I love cutesy toys, I also always go for some sort of realism in my designs. And it was particularly important to me with this one. So what I did was I found a way of producing stripes that wasn't reliant on the rounds that crochet is built in. So as most of you know, what you do with crochet for toys is you start from a magic circle and then you work in continuous rounds, so loops of increasing or the same, depending on the shape you want, stitches. And it lends itself quite nicely to a sort of more traditional striped effect, which follows those rounds. It also lends itself to a slightly different way of being produced, which is where you make the magic circle, but then you close it with a slip stitch and you build each individual circle up one at a time. And then you can do really neat color changes so that there are little stripes going across the body and face. And it looks cute, right? But it doesn't actually look how a zebra looks. And it's the funny thing when you're making toys is there's always this toss-up between caricature and reality that you have to find a balance with. And I could have very quickly made a zebra based on my horse design, which I'll show you in a second, that had that continuous looping in it. And it's what I've done with the muzzle section just here. But I wanted it to look like a zebra, like an actual zebra. And so what I did was I employed chains. And for most of it, all I did was I crocheted chains of varying lengths, I slip stitched to join them as loops, and then I sewed them onto the relevant parts of the toy. And I did this in sections throughout it, building it up and checking I was happy with it. The first thing I did, and why you'll notice the legs are a little different, is I actually made chains and then single crocheted back into them. And I spiraled these around the legs. And whilst it was more in the direction that I wanted to go in, it wasn't satisfactory to me. I wasn't entirely happy. So what I did for the next parts was I purely worked in the chains as loops and then stretched them around, as you can see, on the body like this. And what it produced was much more of a zebra style impact. And I think it's particularly worked well for the face, as you can see here. Now, one of these obviously I didn't loop, that's that central line down the forehead, but all the others I did. And I tried to follow the actual markings in the pattern that they form on zebras as well. So where did this start? Where did this come from? Well, it all came from a horse. Nearly knocked them off my desk with my elbow. So this is Jeremy. And Jeremy is a horse I made for my horse mad daughter, and I was particularly pleased with Jeremy. He had a horsey look, but in the teddy bear style, and my son was jealous of him. So then was born Sausage Roll, the crochet donkey, and I took it up a little bit of a level by adding sort of details to the eyes and things that I hadn't used before. I built out the hooves a little bit more, and I felt pleased with the direction that this had gone in. It had a bit more of the realism, and I don't think less of the cuteness than the previous design did. At some point whilst I was in the process of making the donkey, we went around to see some friends of ours, and their baby was particularly taken with Jeremy here. And so I wanted to make her one, but I don't like making the same thing more than once generally, but a variation of a thing that I want to make, I'm cool with that. So I decided to design a zebra, and a realistic zebra. That's where this little friend came from. Now, I should mention, this I made for a baby. It is not baby safe. I completely trust the mother of the baby and the father of the baby not to give it unsupervised playtime with this until it's considerably older child, but I think she'll like to look at it in the meantime. And what's lovely about it is it's monochromatic. It's black and white, so babies love things with clear colour distinctions like that. They're great for them to look at and focus on as their eyes develop. So in all ways, zebra colours great for a baby. Actual zebra full of tangly bits and potential choke hazards, not so great for babies to physically hold and interact with, but lovely for doing cute zebra things. Anyway, that's an aside. But I just wanted to talk to you about this today because I do think that this is a unique way of doing this. Now, I'm not saying that I invented the chain or that I invented sewing crochet pieces onto other pieces to form stripes at all. But now that it's made and complete, I have just had a bit of a trawl of Google image search for crochet zebras, and I'm pretty confident that at least in a sort of more widely known way, it's not been done like this before. So I'd be really interested to hear what you think, what you feel about the design, whether it's something that you think is like a fairly original idea, or have I just forgotten somewhere else that it's regularly employed. And really importantly for me, can you tell me if you would do this? So I know easy patterns are more popular. That's absolutely fine, and it's understandable because the pyramid of knowledge, it's very clear that you're going to have more people on the bottom level than the top level, and as we go up, the number of people who are interested in something is going to decrease. This isn't actually technically terribly complicated. It just involves a little bit of time and finesse and concentration with sewing those parts into place. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know, and I'll chat to you in the comments section. See you there, and happy crocheting.